Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode, and today we're going to talk about Hellboy. I don't know if you're familiar with Hellboy. It's one of my favorite comics, one of my favorite comics to read. And these were those comics that you hid from your parents, or if you are reading them like in a library or somewhere, you didn't want your parents to see because Hellboy is very graphic. It's pretty much rated R, but I loved it. You fell in love with Hellboy. It's kind of like Spawn, right? You fall in love with these characters because they are absolutely not only cool, but they go the extra mile, right? They're not safe, right? They don't take, they like taking risks. They like, you know what I mean? That is Hellboy. And the first two Hellboys we got were really, really good, right? Obviously played by Ron Perlman. I don't know if you're familiar with Ron Perlman, one of my favorite actors, and he played that character really well. If you've seen those first original movies, the first Hellboy and then the second Hellboy with the Golden Army, outstanding movies. I honestly don't know why they never made a third. I'd have to do some research to find out why, because we all expected a third movie. But they didn't make a third movie, even though those first two movies were really good. You know, fans loved them. They've become like cult classics, right? If you go to Comic-Con, oftentimes when people talk about Hellboy, they talk about those two first movies. Not only that, they talk about Ron Perlman's basically really cool adaptation of this character, right? Because again, he was older. You never really knew what you would get from him, but he played that character really well. And those two first movies were really good. Now they tried they tried to reboot the Hellboy franchise in 2019, but unfortunately they crashed and burned. That movie was really bad in every way. Horrible acting, horrible directing, horrible casting. Like, when you watch the movie, you could tell what they were going for, but it felt like they were trying to mesh so many different stories into this character. See, if you watch the first Hellboy, you saw the initiation. It was like this organic growth of this character, right? They weren't really trying to rush it. They weren't really trying to do so much so fast. You know what I mean? They actually allowed you to grow with this character, not only through infancy, but also the flaws. I mean, they exposed everything about Hellboy. And you loved the character because you saw the arc, right? You saw where he came from. I mean, that 2019 movie, I don't know if they were just told to rush and make a movie. I don't know if it's just they had no sense of direction. And unfortunately, it's horrible to see a fan favorite, even for me, like do so bad in every way. You know, sometimes I say this movie was good, but maybe the acting wasn't. Maybe the story was nice. So, you know what I mean? But everything failed with that movie. So obviously it didn't do well, and obviously there was no sequel anywhere attached to that movie. And I'm glad they did not do it because they would have lost a lot of money. They honestly would have lost a lot of money. Now comes this new Hellboy with a new twist, actually, to the story. Hellboy, the Crooked Man. You know, this is a really interesting comic. I don't know if you've read it. It's very, very graphic. And even the trailer that we're going to watch at the end of this is rated R. This movie obviously will be rated R, not for kids. Even the trailer itself is not for kids, you know. But I love the new twist because I think they're taking an interesting look into Hellboy. So they're no longer going from, you know, we don't really need to go back to the origin movies or the origin of this character because we've already seen it in other characters. It's a take that resembles Matt Reeves' The Batman, right? He didn't really need to have an origin story of the Batman. We've had several origin stories, right? But he started off in second year. So in this movie, the Hellboy Crooked Man, essentially Hellboy exists. He's older, he's more mature, and now he's in the field tackling demons or whatever he's doing. So I love the fact that this is where they're going. So I like that they're taking this risk which is a good risk. The only thing is, hopefully, the story aligns with that. That's the only way that works. But the Batman was successful because Matt Reeves was really good at telling a good story. So hopefully, the director of this movie tells a really good story, and we end up liking. I really want to like it. From the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a really cult classic. It's one of those kind of like The Crow, where you end up loving it because of how graphic it is. But I also hope that they keep certain things intact with this movie. They don't really go so far overboard with the graphic and the whatever that it takes away from Hellboy as a character, as a comic book character. I hope they don't do that and they allow us to fall in love with whatever story they're trying to tell. And I feel like with this trailer that you're about to watch, essentially that's exactly what it says. Anyway, how about you watch the trailer and wait for this movie to come out? And hopefully it's a good movie. Anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Something in these hills. Something haunted. Evil. It smells like death.
How do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
I heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him